Okay, so this is not my normal type video at all, but I felt like I probably should go ahead and do something like this because there's been a lot of chatter lately in the YouTube space about the changes that they've made. And I want to do a little behind the scenes of how I edit. So today I need to edit a video about this specific planner that I'm using for goal setting, and I thought I would take you along. But first, if you're new, hey, I'm Lauren, and my YouTube channel is a very small niche channel specifically for people who like planners and journals and stationery. I review a lot of things, and my channel name is Creating Self-Care Plans. It's something that I am probably going to rebrand eventually. Just haven't settled yet on what I want to rename it. But if you've never watched any of my videos, you probably are like, who is this person who's going to show me how they create their YouTube videos? I am, yes, a very small channel. I have over 2,000 subscribers, which is hardly anything. I have been monetized though since the middle of 2023, and I don't make very much money from AdSense. I am a very typical small YouTuber, and this video is not meant to be like, here are all the things that you can do to make a ton of money on YouTube. That's not what this is. I felt like this type of video is something that would help someone who is very early on and is not monetized at all and wants a very transparent, like, behind the scenes on what it's like to go through the process of creating a video in a niche space. And for me, it is like top-down, faceless type content. I'm typically not doing this face-to-face sort of thing. But for those of you who are probably skeptical that maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, like, sure, maybe she's going to show me how she makes her videos, but how do I know that her videos are even getting watched? Well, I can show you some of my stats. Let me pull up my YouTube studio. Okay, so I'm going to have to hold this for a second so that you can see this. I'm going to filter the videos by most viewed. You'll see that, like, my most viewed video is this one. This is definitely an outlier for me, and it shows ad revenue for these videos. So typically, like, my most performing videos are close to 10,000 by now. I know how to make videos that will get views. Are these going to be videos that are going to get you thousands and thousands and thousands of views? Maybe, I don't know. But when it comes to making YouTube videos, there's multiple things that go into creating a channel that goes viral or gets lots of subscribers or makes a lot of money. And some of that has to do with how often you post content. And in my very niche space, I started with like one video per week. And the last 2 years, I've primarily done maybe average one video a month. I've scaled it back a lot. So even in doing that, my channel has maintained monetization, meaning I have continued to get views even though I'm not posting content on a regular basis. And I'm kind of hoping that this video is something that resonates with a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of the YouTube advice that's out there that comes from these like really established creators and YouTubers, some of them have been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and they've established reputations. And let's be for real, like, a lot of the YouTube advice content does very well on YouTube because it's YouTube advice. There's a lot of people out there looking for this kind of thing. So for you to see someone in my position who hasn't like reached the ranks of someone like Mr. Beast show you her, I feel like it's a little bit more relatable and shows you like the bottom. I don't know, I don't consider myself in the bottom, although obviously there's room to improve and grow. As you can see, I just picked up the camera and started recording. I didn't even put on any makeup today. I typically do face down, like camera shots, and I'll show you what I use here in a second. It's a contraption, but I hope that when you walk away from this, you'll see that one, it's not that difficult, and two, it doesn't have to be polished and professional looking, and especially if you're a woman, you don't need to be all dolled up. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to have a script. I don't use AI tools to create transcripts, none of that. I just brainstorm an idea and just start filming, which is something that I think has helped my channel because it's not polished and it's authentic and real and just me saying whatever, like right now. I literally have no script. I came up with this idea this morning and was like, let's just go for it. Let me just film this. So let me grab the camera and show you around my desk. So this right here is my canvas lamp, and I have a magnetic attachment on here that my phone, let me go ahead and do it while we're on camera, it just hooks on, and I can move this around. I have to line this up. I'm actually filming on 0.5, which I normally don't, so that's usually, I just zoomed it back, and then I can move this up and down. So this is how I film my top-down videos at my desk, and I sit here, yap, 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 and then when I'm done, I just take it off. So here is the whole contraption. It doesn't come with the plant. That base is very weighted, heavy, so that it can work. And you just kind of turn these things to lock them in place where you want it, move up and down. And this does have a light underneath. This part right here is a light. So if I wanted some light, it's like a ring light, of course. If I wanted some light, I could use the, let's see, I'll show you guys. This is very unprofessional. This is the little button. So if I needed light, that's what I would use. But I am right next to a big window, so this is very helpful with lighting when it comes to my videos, which is very important. So the program that I use to edit is FinalCut Pro, and this is the last video that I edited. So I need to get in here and put the footage from my last video. I already have it in a file on my desktop right here, which makes it easy whenever I import it. So the way I do this is not going to be a full like FinalCut Pro tutorial, but I want to show you how my workflow is. So these files, well, this file, the video file, was filmed on my iPhone, which is what I'm using right now to record this. And I have my Rode mic connected into my phone, and it gives me this. When it's done, when I'm done recording, I just airdrop it because this is a MacBook and my iPhone talk to each other. I just airdrop it to my laptop, and then I start a project in FinalCut Pro. I go to File, New, Library, and then I pick the folder that I showed you on the desktop for the project, and this is Moxie Live Companion. I'm going to do 2026 in here and click Save, and it's going to show over here. These are all past libraries that I really need to close, but I'll do that another time. So then I do File, Import, actually no, File, New Project, and I title this, hit OK. Then I do Import Media, and I go to my desktop and I click on the companion notebooks and click Import. I also have a folder that says YouTube videos, and I'm going to import that because that has some of my files that I need, like music and a banner for my end screen. Okay, so to get started, all I do is drag that into the timeline, and then I click over here so that I am in my volume settings, and I adjust it to voice isolation, and I also go to effects, which is this little button over here, and I look for the limiter. Here it is. Okay, then in my limiter settings, this is something that I do because some people told me that my YouTube videos were too loud when the ads came on. They would have to turn my video up, and then it made it to where, because it was so loud for just the video, when the ad came on, it would be blasting. So I learned this trick from somebody. I don't even know who. It was just, I searched a YouTube video about like how to get the sound better. And these are the settings, and this is basically how he did it. So I just adjust my gain, and for me, I put it up to about 18. And then I change my release setting to 250. I change my output to -6. And I change my look ahead to 0. I change the mode to legacy, and that is it. I make sure that when I play this back, nothing's too loud, but everything looks fine right now. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I like having this a little bit bigger so you can see the video as I move my mouse across. So I pretty much just, there's short keys to click through and edit this on my keyboard. I click Command B, and it creates a break, and then I just delete the section I'm deleting, and I can tell that this is just not talking because of the way there's no audio here. So I pretty much just do this for the whole video. I listen to it back, and I cut out the parts that need to be cut out. And then if I want to add, like at the end, I'll add music. So after I say goodbye, you see me waving, bye-bye, I usually will have an end screen. This is my end screen. So I click it, I drag it over, and I pop it at the end. There's my end screen. And then over here, I have my music, and I'll show you where I get my music, but I just drag that and I put it down here and create like a separate thing, and then I adjust the volume, and then I kind of just line this up with wherever I want it to be, and then I cut it off, and I will use this little slider to fade it out. That's what this little doohickey does. But let me show you where I get my music. I do pay annually for this. I use Epidemic Sound. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. Okay, so I'm logged in. This looks different than the last time I logged in. They must have changed the format in here. But pretty much all you do is, if you want to like look for some music, you can like search by mood. Let's see if I type chill. It will, and I can click on like this moods here, and I can click what mood type of music I want. If I want peaceful music, then these will all be tracks that are like that. Let's see what this one is. So then if I find one I want, I can just click the download button over here, download it, and then it's a file that I can then drag and drop into here. Now, having Epidemic Sound is obviously not required for YouTube videos, but if you want any kind of music that is, you're not going to get like copyright strikes, I recommend some kind of service like that. Or I think YouTube itself has some audio, but otherwise just don't use any audio whatsoever if you want to make sure you don't get in trouble for using music you're not supposed to. In my first videos, in my early videos, I didn't have Epidemic Sound. I had a track that I would use, that I was allowed to use. It was like a royalty-free thing, but I really honestly don't remember where I got it. I really don't. So just be very careful when it comes to music. So when this video is edited, I click at the top right, I click that little share button, and I have a thing set for MP4, and I have all the settings already like the way it needs to be. and I just click next, and then the file starts to write itself, which I'm not going to do at the moment because this isn't finished editing yet. Then once the video is edited and the file is complete, which can take a little while for my computer to write depending on how long the video is, I would go back to YouTube or YouTube Studio and I click create and upload videos and then select files. And then I find the file that has the finished video and then I upload. Now once this starts uploading, that's usually when while that's uploading, I will work on the thumbnail. I like using Canva. This was the last thumbnail that I made. And I basically use the same every time. I just change out, I just replace this image with a different image and then adjust the title here. And sometimes I'll have to resize this, but for the most part, I just leave it alone. That way I have like a coherent look across my channel with my thumbnails. And then I download the file and there's a space in YouTube Studio for you to upload the thumbnail for that specific video. I will say that I did not start editing my videos in Final Cut Pro. It was something that I ended up doing a little bit later. I won a giveaway, a Mac computer, and it was when I won that I tested out using Final Cut Pro. But before that, I actually, believe it or not, would do all the editing on my iPhone, and I would have to figure out the whole editing, which it almost looks similar to this. I think I used, what was the program? I think it was called LumaFusion. I don't know if that's something that's still around, but I'm sure there's other things out there. But I managed to film and edit for at least the first 2, maybe almost 3 years of my videos on just my phone. I didn't even use the computer. Once I switched to using the computer, it just made things so much easier because it was faster for me to use the keyboard and the mouse to do the editing as opposed to using my thumbs on my phone. So that's basically the simple process of doing the YouTube videos, especially if it's top down like that. It's pretty easy to do. When it comes to a vlog style video like this one, it's a little bit trickier when you have multiple different cuts in it. But even this one is not that serious with the number of cuts, because the more cuts you have, the more you have to drag and drop different clips into the video. So it makes it a little bit more complicated, but it's very easy to do if you just have, you have the mic connected and recording, and then you have, which that just made me check to make sure the mic wasn't dead. That would have been bad if this whole time it would have not been recording the sound correctly. Yeah, so things like that will go wrong and you just kind of push through it. But anyway, if you like this, let me know what you found helpful about this. If you want to see more like this, I am considering creating like a series, a behind the scenes series, where each video will dive a little bit deeper into different aspects of the process. But I will have to keep it limited to obviously what I use and my experience in creating a lot of top-down videos. Again, I'm not a guru. I'm not an expert in vlogs. I'm not an expert on how to trick the algorithm into making sure your videos get seen. I just know this is how I film, and this is how I edit, and this is how I do things, and it's worked for me. Sometimes the videos do really well right out the gate. Sometimes they take a while. A lot of my videos continue to get views every day because they're searched frequently on YouTube, which is the beauty of YouTube. If you make evergreen content that people are wanting to see, then you can essentially do what I did and go from recording videos once a week and then shift to once a month or so, and your channel did not die, essentially, because I know that sounds very scary, A lot of people are afraid that if you just stop being consistent, then your channel will completely die. No one will see it again. I don't think that's true at all, because I have had weeks where I was very consistent every week, and then sometimes I'll skip, and then there were periods of time, and I think there's one period of time where I was gone for maybe 3 months, but my channel itself did not die. Like, every day that I wasn't uploading a video, I still had views coming into my channel, and the needle was moving. So hopefully this video was encouraging for you and maybe has given you a little bit of renewedness in wanting to go back to creating content and not giving up on your YouTube channel, especially if you're not monetized and you want to try and get monetized before that cutoff coming soon. I know I've seen a lot of people in my niche space of planning content create videos and then like kind of fall off. I don't know if it's because life circumstances, or they just wanted to stop, or just because they got discouraged. And I really would hate for our space, this planning space, this stationary space, to completely die because YouTube decided they're going to double the watch hour requirement. And in my opinion, that's kind of absurd, but it is what it is. I can't control what YouTube does. Neither can you. And all we can do is keep creating videos and pushing forward and not give up. So I believe in you. I think you can do it. If I can do it and I can stay receiving views and my channel is not dead, you can too, I think. I think so. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm not about gatekeeping over here. So if I can answer a question honestly and tell you, exactly what it is, I will. Yeah, I'll try and tell you everything that I can, because the way I see it is me sharing this information is not hurting me. It is only just making the whole YouTube world that much better, because I think the more videos that are done well and the more people who don't give up on it, the better this platform can be, because it's the small channels, I think, that truly are the heart of YouTube, not the big ones. It's the small ones, and I don't want the small creators out there to get discouraged about reaching these new monetization requirements, especially if you're watching this and you've already been in the process of your channel starting and you're not completely starting from scratch, and you're watching this way in the future and we've already reached the point where it's like too late. You absolutely have to be the 8,000 subscribers. Not subscribers, 8,000 watch hours. Oh my God, could you imagine if they changed the subscribers that you have to have 8,000? I don't even have that. I don't know. I hope they never adjust the number of subscribers that you need. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I will end this video by saying this: don't give up.